Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Anime Club. We're going to be doing our free thoughts here on Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Now, I'll start us off. Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai is a prequel to My Hero Academia. Changed my mind. I'm kidding.
That makes less than 0 sense to me, only because I don't understand it.
Oh no, it's absolutely wrong. It's an absolute crackpot theory.
Okay.
I had to throw it out there.
It's a crackpot meme. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Schizo posting.
Yeah.
Okay, I was really hoping I wasn't missing something obvious. So.
The adolescent syndrome gets worse if I don't stop watering.
Honestly, look, I think one of the strengths of this show, right, is that obviously it calls it all by the name adolescent syndrome, but it really does describe a lot of the most common anxieties, like, that people have collectively around the world. Like, these are some of the biggest, like, anxieties that we as humans feel a lot of the time. Like imposter syndrome, you know, like inferiority complexes, the fear of being left behind or forgotten. Those are really important. I mean, the fear of being forgotten is what often drives people to do great or terrible things so that they'll live forever in history. You know? You can't die if your name's remembered forever.
Right.
Although some people should stick to naked horseback photos.
Yeah. We aren't going to talk anymore about that.
Let's leave that subject on the floor.
Yeah. But I like that it talks about all these, like, relatively common human anxieties in such a, what's the word? In such a, like, a physical way. Rather than just talking about them as if it's something that's happening in your head, right? Because it's what's happening in our heads, right? But here's a physical representation of what it feels like.
Yeah. It like you said, it literally just like it's like almost like it's almost like Freudian in a sense. In that
no.
Not true.
No.
Not true Freudian, but like in a sense that it shows it physically is what you're saying.
That's not what Freud did at all with anything ever.
No.
I love Freud.
No.
His psychology is really well known for the basis on how wrong it actually was.
Yeah, but it's not that he was like trying to say like there are physical effects of.
No. He wasn't trying to say
Yeah.
that or anything like that, but I think he was good at describing his things.
Not really.
Was he?
Freud sucked ass
Eh.
at everything.
Yeah,
The only thing he
kinda
really
did.
established, to my knowledge, is how modern psychologists work, right?
Even that is, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of his work is debatable. I won't deny it.
99% of his work is
Yeah.
debatable.
It's debatable, but it still was a lot of the foundation for a very long. It's very for a very long time.
But also, what's his name? Greek philosopher Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle. Plato is considered foundational, and Plato advocated for effectively a dictatorship that would be run by the smartest among us. So foundational writings are not always
they're not always
very well founded.
Yeah.
Not always very well founded, but you know, it is a foundation.
Yeah. I wouldn't call this Freudian, though. Like, this is
No.
pretty far from Freudian, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If we were doing something with an Oedipal complex or actual brother-sister relationship, Domestic Nakanojo was Freudian.
Yes, most definitely Freudian.
Domestic Nakanojo was very Freudian.
All right, good to know.
Yeah.
Let's put a Freudian analysis on that, shall we?
Yeah, that's
I'm not going back to that show.
Yeah, no, that's the reason why we yeet that off the cliff.
Yeah.
I mean,
hard.
it got an ooh-woo tier from me and Nick Nack for a reason.
Got a shit tier from me and Vorn for a reason.
Yes.
One man's shit is another man's uwu.
That is not how that saying goes. Ugh. But I think that the show's also pretty respectful about how it's portraying these disorders. Like, this is a very good way to do it, to kind of put it out there without being insulting or dismissive or making like weird and random assumptions or exaggerations.
Mm-hmm.
I like that part about it.
It gets to the point of the issue without being insensitive about it.
Yeah. It makes feelings happen in my meow meow.
It never treats any of the characters as villains for having these feelings or putting them into this situation. I appreciate that.
Also, none of the characters are treated as less than once they're fixed or before they're fixed.
Yeah.
You know, they're still humans. They're still people living their lives.
Yeah.
And I like that they also don't require the girls to gravitate around Sakuta after he helps with their anxiety, because a lot of shows would just take that as an excuse to like give him kind of a and have their lives now revolve around him, but instead they get to go back to their lives and do the things that make them them.
That's kind of why I like the fact that Mai ends up as Sakuta's main pairing, because it kind of demonstrates, like, from the very get-go, that this is not going to turn all the rest of these girls into his sort of collective harem.
Yeah, like he is stumbling across people who are facing difficulties in life, but while he gets to know these people, all of these people and him have their own lives separate from anything that's happening.
Yeah.
And also, he's not the overly confident, I always know the answer jackass.
Yeah. He doesn't know a lot. He's just trying to help these people with their physical manifestations of their insecurities.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I want all your guys' thoughts on this. Would you be able to solve at least like all their problems, or at least some of them?
No. I mean, he wasn't able to. He had to have a lot of help.
Look, logically, right? Like, for example, with Futaba, right? Logically, I know that Futaba's problem is that she doesn't accept herself, right? But I also have that problem, so how can I help her realize something that I myself can't come to terms with? You know what I mean?
Because here's the thing. Like, I'd probably be able to explain, like, most of, like, their issues, kind of like what Futaba does I'd be able to explain clinically. I can't make someone come to the rational conclusion to make their problems go away.
Yeah, like, it's relatively easy, right, for me to say to Knick Knack, you know, we're not gonna forget you, right? Like, we are your friends. We talk to you all the time. You're never going to be forgotten. But me saying that does not automatically turn off that box in your head if it's still there.
Yeah.
You know? So, while I think that, obviously, that's the other thing. There are very simple, logical solutions to all of these girls' anxieties, right?
Yeah.
But they can't see it. Mm-hmm. They cannot make the logical jump because their anxiety prevents them from it.
Yeah, and if they can't see it, then how can I realistically
make them see
it?
Yeah, like how can I convince them of something that their brain can't convince them of?
Right.
And it takes different things each time, right? Like Mai's is kind of directly a result of something that Sakuta does, right? But he has help figuring it out, you know. And
the date girl, the
Tomoe?
Yeah.
Tomoe and Futaba, no.
Yeah.
Futaba, I probably wouldn't be able to solve it all.
I think in the best example for this is when the Freaky Friday, right? Yeah. Is that, you know, Sakuta's just like, here, look at, like, communicate.
Yeah.
You know? Like, these two girls have not communicated because they're, like, in their heads, they're just like, she hates me. She's so much better than me. I'm not worthy of talking to her. My parents like her more than me. I can't talk to her. When it was literally just a letter away. A letter that was never sent away.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's not that any of these girls are like, they're not, there's nothing flawed with them, essentially. They're not weak or stupid.
Yeah.
They're like, just stuck in their minds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a very human thing to happen, to just kind of be stuck in your mind and occasionally, because the walls of your mind are a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you guys have any recommendations based off of this?
I do not know of a single show that is quite so arrow to the heart.
Shot through the heart.
And you're to blame. You give me anxiety.
There was, like, as I was saying last section, like Mr. Nobody, but that's an American film, I think. Was it American? I don't remember.
I mean,
but it also didn't do that well. So
yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Is that I could suggest to you shows where a character is invisible or Groundhog Day is happening or something like that. Like, I know all the tropes in this show.
But
from
it's
other
rare
shows.
a show really goes this hard into so many.
And there are very few shows, even if you branch out from anime, that deal quite so deeply into the psychology of the human mind.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you could talk about Hannibal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has a lot of like psychological in it.
Yeah.
Supernatural certainly has the same level of emotional damage when it comes to psychological issues suffered by the characters.
Right.
Psych, no, not Psych. Dexter maybe? Like Dexter's suffering from his own mental issues, but
what's that? Lucifer maybe?
Nah. No, I've seen Lucifer. I mean, maybe The Good Place. This felt kind of good placey, but it's hard. Like, I mean, and I could tell you 1,000, romantic high school TV shows, but none of them are gonna have the same emotional weight that this show has.
Yeah. Since it's pretty clear that there's nothing that kind of directly correlates to this, and honestly, my connection is very loose. If anything, it's like kind of brief. But if you are a fan of Star Wars and you haven't played the KOTOR 2 specifically, there is one character that gets very philosophically deep as far as like the greater Star Wars universe is concerned, and they touch on some kind of points. It's not the main focus and everything like that. Nick Knack knows which character I'm talking about.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but they do touch on like kind of some of the points and stuff like that kind of relate to this, but it's very tangential and not the highlight really, because that character's more of kind of a deconstruction of the Star Wars universe as a whole.
I might direct someone from this, if they really liked how this played out, to and I think Realm, you could probably back me up here a little bit. Persona 5, and from what I understand, Persona 4.
Yes, actually, the Persona series, specifically the games, I would actually recommend, because they tackle, not in the same way as this show, but they tackle similar topics, at least as far as like psychology, insecurities and stuff like that, and like the characters and stuff like that. So. And
at least from what I remember of 5, it goes through that little character arc thing as well. Like, every character has their own arc, so...
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm bringing myself to say this, but you could go to ReZero from here.
Yeah, just wondering.
You could also go here from ReZero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ew.
And didn't we, actually?
Was it?
Yeah!
Yes!
Wait.
I mean, not directly, but
not literally.
But it's kind of an irony to that statement.
Yeah.
But just wondering, how would this kind of work with the Steins Gate male and female
I don't know.
lead?
I've never finished
I don't know. I've not finished it.
I mean, there are some things. So yeah, Steins Gate might be similar enough to where you could recommend it, but I honestly don't know enough about Steins Gate myself to recommend it. So,
Erased?
maybe. I haven't seen it.
Why don't we go ahead and move on to pulling for the next anime? We're pushing around 13 minutes
Also,
here.
Divine Gate. That probably will, but that's also crap.
I don't know why you're cutting us off at 13 minutes. We've had free thoughts that have gone on for 40.
I am sure, but I'm sure we could try to find tangential connections all day. I think one from each of us is a good amount here.
Yeah.
Why don't we go on into pull for our next anime?
That's fair. So,
Is it drumroll time?
It is drumroll time, but first, right? If Nick Knack or Rum gets pulled, this will be their last anime of the season.
All right.
Their final submission.
Jeez. Did I just get pulled?
Yeah, Garden of Sinners.
Garden of Sinners, movie 3.
What is movie 3 called? I challenge you.
Okay, movie 3. It's not Phantom Pain, that's the JoJo arc.
And it's certainly not Overlooking or Murder Speculation Part 2, even though we just watched Murder Speculation Part A.
No, it's Garden of Sinners. Remaining Sense of Pain. God, I hate JoJo.
Wait, was that the name?
Remaining Sense of
Not
Pain.
God, I hate JoJo, but it's called Garden of Sinners. Remaining Sense of Pain.
How fitting.
Jesus fucking Christ.
How fitting.
I can look to see if the other translation's a little shorter if you want.
No, that's fine. Just what a name.
Yeah.
Yes.
What a fucking name.
And how fitting to go from emotional damage episode to
Oh no, it's
remaining
translated
sense
in
of
both
pain.
as Remaining Sense of Pain. How fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess doing what we normally do here. I'll start with Realm and Vorn, since you guys gave it a meh last time. What does this have to do to go to an approved? It was a pretty high meh last time, from what I remember too.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember freaking it, but I'm still remembering the first one, like, cause that's just so memorable.
It's memorable and how unmemorable it was.
Yeah.
I thought I gave the last one an approved.
No, you gave it a meh. High meh, but a meh. Like you were teetering.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, I don't remember, just because it's been a minute since we watched the last movie, even though it was more recent.
Oh, it technically was because we watched it before our big Christmas break.
Yeah.
So I honestly, because it's been a while, I don't remember.
So you're a blank slate here.
Yeah, I'm honestly blank slating.
Well, okay,
here.
remember, so this one, we liked this one more collectively because
Yes.
so they're in high school and we actually got introduced to the duality of that one character.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And some other stuff.
You actually get introduced to the characters. What a concept.
Yes.
No.
We got some
shows should try to do that more often.
Yeah.
We don't have to create our own story.
Okay, before we sign off here, I guess I do want to give a warning. The opening of this movie has a scene that audiences might find disturbing, and so if you're not... How do I put this? Do I want to downright say it here, Seki? I've told you about this scene before.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was it? I can cut a section if you want. If you just want to, and I'll help you phrase
So-
what you need to say.
If you're sensitive, because this movie covers topics of Goblin no-no at the very beginning. So if you're sensitive
rape
to...
trigger warning, everybody.
Yeah.
Trigger warning.
If you're going to
for
watch
rape.
it with us, just be aware of that going in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do trigger warnings, that kind of shit. Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah, we're going from one
Look,
pleasant series to another. I'm impressed.
Look, for me, right, I hated movie number 1, but I really liked movie number 2 because it felt like we were actually getting into an interesting kind of murder mystery sort of vibe. So long as it keeps up, like, the whole murder mystery vibe, I'm still gonna be happy with this movie.
Okay.
Honestly, because we're still following the same characters, which means I don't have to acquaint myself with a new cast or new personalities.
I don't think this one goes as far into the murder mystery aspect, but it definitely sticks to the... It's not just the straight, oh, look at the supernatural thing, let's go in and kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So long as it's not as terrible as movie number 1.
They don't get as terrible as movie number 1, I promise.
What's the last movie's ghost thingy?
The
there was
last
none.
movie didn't have a ghost. It was an
just-
actual murder mystery.
It was just a murder mystery on whether or not the main female character was killing people at night, and we never got a response to that.
Yeah.
I assume we will when we follow up A Study in Murder Part 1 with Murder Speculation Part B.
Yeah.
The very last movie of the original set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with that being said, everybody...
See you next time. Try
Like,
harder, everyone.
subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.